Hello and welcome everyone to Kerbal Space Program with me, Raven, and yeah, I think that's going to be the intro for today. There are going to be more videos and it's going to be more interesting than this. Although, to say more interesting, I don't know, this is probably going to be interesting because everything tends to explode for me. But, well, not explode, but it runs out of fuel and then everyone seems to die. But this is Kerbal Space Program version 0.20.2 something. It was released not that long back. What I'm recording today is something that I've been trying to record. I've only been able to do this off camera. And well, one of my friends was just like, you should totally like do a Kerbal Space Program like video and, you know, upload it to YouTube, and I think everyone would love it. And I was like, yeah, sure, it sounds like a good idea. But I've been finding out that Fraps does not like Kerbal Space Program much. Could you? Right. Can I just want to put you down somewhere. Ah, fine. So, if this records or not is going to be a bit iffy. I'm hoping it does, and I'm making changes at the moment to the rocket I had because there are some issues with physics, being that physics does not like the rocket. Essentially what has been happening for me is the legs that I'm using, because I put some heavier legs on this thing. You guys probably wouldn't have known that, but I put some... Of course you're not going to fucking fit now. Yeah, it's because you're intersecting with that. Okay. Oh, now you go down there. Of course. But basically, I had put these legs on here because the first successful landing the first two successful landings I made with these legs, but they can't really take more of an impact than like 1.5 meters per second. So they had a habit of falling off whenever I landed. So I put these legs on, but the problem is when I put them directly onto the body, they go into this capsule thing, and it causes all sorts of physics fun to jitter out, and it kind of screws up being able to control the damn thing. Okay, so yeah, just explaining why I made that fix. Reason for this video, I got challenged by a friend. And bear in mind, I had never actually been able to land on the moon until he set me this fucking challenge. I'd been trying for absolutely ages. I'd gotten several people stuck in orbit. In fact, I've got a 1.7 game that I do want to bring into. I do want to bring into point 2 and like save everyone I've got stranded around the moon, because I kept running out of fuel as I got to the moon. There is a famous Kurt Kermen, stranded around my moon in my .17 game. But I got to set the challenge of go to the moon, land on the moon, make sure that there's at least one Kermen that can land on the moon, and you know, that's my challenge. And I had to do all of this within the budget of 250,000 Kermen units, because everything costs like money. As you can see, I'm scrolling over it, everything costs like a cost. So I've got 250,000. Now this rocket in total is like, I think it was 120,000, something like that in total. So yay me, it's not very reusable, everything that falls off blows up. But we'll get to semantics, because my friend wants to set me the challenge of doing an actual... see if this crashes. My friend wants to set me the challenge. Oh god, that was a scary moment. Of like basically, he'll give me a budget and he'll give me targets to meet, and if I meet those targets, then, you know, I get more for my budget, so I can build bigger rockets, better rockets, and do more cool things. And he wanted to sort of make a campaign out of this to go along with my YouTube videos that he also wants me to do. So this video is going up in benefit of him. I will also be putting up my abject failures to do with this, and the reason why this is Mimbus 5. It's not... I change the number for the rocket every time I make a major change to it. So those legs, to me, those don't count as a major change. They're kind of obvious changes that needed to be made. No, major changes are like changing like actual rockets and stuff like that. Now, let's not activate these. I'll get rid of my center console for the second. I just need to turn the gimbals off on these, because otherwise the the whole ship kind of does like this circular motion around its center of gravity. It's funny, but it's not very good for my fuel. Okay, so let's see. I just got disconnected from TeamSpeak, which I wasn't chatting on. Everyone thinks I've probably gone to bed, actually. So, we have with us Arming Kermen, who actually made the successful launch to space. Everything is jittering in and out. Oh god, this does not bode well. This does not bode well at all. Okay. Put SAS on before it all goes to hell. There we go. It's nice and straight. Wait for the overheat and slow it down. Now I've been told that I don't want to be going too fast through this first part of the atmosphere. Like basically up to about 11,000 meters, 11 kilometers. I don't want to be going too fast. I found the sweet spot is around there. This will bring me down, but it won't like slow me down too much. There we go. And we're going to start gaining speed now. There we go. We used about half the fuel in this thing already. Once I hit about 10,000, there we go. I can start doing my gravity turn. And just kind of actually let it list over itself. Be quite useful. Because as I get up to about there, I want to be on this 90-degree mark. Do not be turning around like that. And I am we're a bit strong actually. Let's zero it there. That'll be good enough. Fuck it. There we go. The goal is with this first stage to get up past the first two areas of atmosphere and effectively get about 1k per second, and this should bring us to about 60-70 kilometers in total. There we go. So now we stage that. Just a little thrust. Don't need much, just a little. And then that's going to sink back down, which is fine. Because what we then want to do is a second burn. Like that. Get us to about 200 kilometers. Yeah, that'll work. Okay. And yeah, I know I'm using a little bit of fuel at the moment, but this is just for steering. There we go. Should bounce its way back a bit. Realistically, I wouldn't be doing this, but now I can start my main burn, and I don't need to worry too much about actually hitting the node itself. It's just getting the angle and the speed, and this will put me in a semi-orbital speed, at which point I can cut my engine thrust, and I can just circularize the orbit around 200k. And this ends up using a hell of a lot less energy, so I should end up with about half my fuel tank left for getting to the moon and doing my braking manoeuvre there. And keep in mind, this does not actually put us in orbit yet. Right, that should be just fine. I'll press T there just to hold it. Right. That's probably not put us at 200, but 160 is good enough. One 80, 123, and then oh, there they go. They flipped. Just one teeny tiny movements there. 161, 161, perfect. Right, this one I do want to wait for the node. And I'll just move across. I don't want to use any of my monopropellant if I don't have to. Which I shouldn't need to. Just let this move all on its own. Oh, and I'll explain why all of that's like that once I get into like nearer lunar orbit, I guess. Okay, hold that. There we go. So now the Kermerican can hold that. Got like 5 minutes. So I should be able to speed this up a bit. 4, 3, 2, 1. Bingo. That should realistically be about right. 158 by 166. Fuck it, close enough. Okay, so we got that. Awesome. I've still got my other lander there that I was recording, and then the game crashed on me. So I decided, okay, that Kermen can die. Because I'm just nice like that. I think it's the exact same Kermen, to be honest with you. But yeah, as you can see, got, what, probably a third of a tank. More than enough to get into lunar orbit. Alright, let's come up here and turn ships on only. There we go. Oh, so that's still technically counted as a ship. What do you want to do, if you've never made it to an orbit before. This is your intersection on your thing, which apparently is a couple of degrees off. But I can sort that out with RCS later. And in fact, what I want to do is I want to come around the planet a bit. So Raven, why would you like to come around the planet? Because we actually want to be far away from that. Because what you want to do is kind of like, if you see it as a clock, right? So you got 12 o'clock there, 3 o'clock there, 6 o'clock there, 9 o'clock there, and, you know, circular clock, not digital one. You basically want the moon to be at like the 3 o'clock position. That's where you start your node, which I did not start my node because it's not actually level, and I fucked that all up. So let's get rid of that. But yeah, essentially that's what you want to do. You want to just make sure that your movement node is sort of somewhere in the middle-ish. So my suggestion is take as many orbits as you need to. Don't think you've got to do everything on the first pass. Just take as many orbits as you need to. And this essentially slows down the speeds that you need to do. And when it slows down the speeds you need to do, it increases it decreases the amount of fuel you need to use. 40. I like to be around 50. It's just, there we go. Now that'll probably work. And our ascending node is 3 degrees positive, so degrees positive. I was going the wrong fucking direction. Alright, well, screw it. I'll sort that out when I get near the node. It's only a little movement anyway. Okay. And if you notice, because of where I put my positioning, I'm literally burning towards the moon. Because the pink one's your target, and then the blue one's your vector target for your maneuver. So there we go, we'll point that directly there. We'll say goodbye, Kermen. Or Kermen? Kerbal? Yeah, I think it's called Kermen. Adwing is not really... He does not look happy about any of this. It's fine, man. Fine. You have plenty of fuel. Shit's gonna work this time. You know, you've safely gone there and come back. Don't be so terrified. Of course, I'm piloting here, so might actually be valid to be terrified. I'm just gonna speed myself forward a bit. Performance is a weird thing in this game as well. I usually pretty much ignore those estimated burns. The key thing for this is this. This is the speed you have to attain by the time you hit that node. There we go. So now the estimated burn and that pretty much in sync. So out really well. I need to actually burn a bit quicker. Uh, 30 meters per second off. Think I can live with 30 meters per second. What difference has that made? 62. I would actually like to see, turn the SRS on, and let's forward motion, bigger. This is where this comes in helpful, using your RCS. You can just like, pretty much, there we go, got it perfect. I can turn that off, turn SAS back on. Okay, sending nodes a bit high, so what I want to do, bring that onto the plane, 10 degrees. There we go, that pretty much gets rid of all of that. That is, in fact, almost perfect. Ha! Awesome sauce. Alright, so when we get to that maneuver node, we need an hour and 11 minutes. Yeah, I'm not doing that fucking in real time. We need to burn 4.2 meters per second, so we should be able to do that with the RCS. And we still have enough fuel for our retro burn. So this will end up in orbit around the moon. Unlike the actual Saturn V, I only had a single stage. The Saturn V itself had this stage which got you into orbit, and then they'd let go, and then it had another stage for actual lunar orbit, which is kind of an interesting thing to know. I did try to have it as 3 separate stages, but then, like, yeah, this top half just kind of wiggles around like some sort of crazy dildo. Cheers. Yeah, it doesn't leave a very nice picture in your mind. Okay, let's set up for that burn that we need to do, which can be done with RCS, but I would rather not do it with RCS, just do it with a teeny tiny fraction. Well, actually, can do it, probably will do it with RCS. See, now that's the reverse. I want the actual target, because that's our target reverse. And I am a dumbass. We're changing our inclination plane, so it's actually going to be down. It should be around here somewhere. Somewhere. I don't know where. I think I saw it for a moment over there somewhere. There it is. Jesus, I've actually gotten this all... Oh, shit, I overshot it. I don't know if I'm going up or down. Hang on. Now, RCS to the rescue. There we go. I'll use a teeny tiny bit of RCS with this, because I am spinning out of freaking control. And boom. Okay, so we've got an hour for that one, so we'll just go through the speed. And I hate going, I actually don't like going above 5, because I think the game goes a bit too quick then. I mean, if I'm waiting like 6 or 7 hours, I might go to 6. I never go really above that. Prefer to just wait it out. Yeah. So yeah, I'll end up starting a new series at some point based on this. I still need to finish some other series that I'm doing. In particular, the Prey one. Been having some crashing issues with that, so I might need to get a new graphics card before I finish that off. And what other one? There is a Pathways into Darkness. So I'll probably do that one at some point. Pointer MS. Can't make much of a difference. I really don't think so. Yeah. We're basically on the inclination plane. I really can get better than that. So the maneuver I'm doing here is slightly different from the one that NASA did, and a lot of other people actually. In what I'm doing is I'm coming around, I'm getting captured by the moon, and then as it catches me and I'm heading back towards Kermen, or Kerbin, I then do a braking maneuver, and that braking maneuver puts me into orbit around the moon. And it actually, because I've been captured there and my speed is much, much slower around here, it reduces the amount of fuel that you need. So this is also a very, very good maneuver to do if what you want to do is you want to capture the long range point, which essentially means that you get, if you wanted to, right here, as soon as you get caught by it, about there, you would do a maneuver. And that maneuver would actually be a sort of like in that-ish direction. And then you'd start an orbit, and that orbit would actually cycle around in quite a sort of oval shape, but it would cycle around just on the edge, so you're caught by the gravity of the moon, but you can always be facing the planet that you want to be facing. It's honestly a fantastic little thing. It's if you've ever played the Halo games, it's how the Halo rings are done. It's how a lot of it's how they want to put up satellites around the moon. I think NASA and the ESA want to put satellites around the moon that basically allows for communication on the opposite side of the moon. That, you know, the face that isn't showing to the Earth. Because there's always like half of it that's always showing to the Earth and half of it that's always not showing to the Earth. It's usually called the dark side of the moon, which is, it's all a misnomer, because like the moon does rotate. It actually does rotate slightly quicker than it rotates around the Earth, so we're not always seeing the exact same side. It does slightly move around, but yeah, it's kind of cool because it allows you to like be in an orbit around a body while also having full access to other planetary bodies, which is one of the biggest problems in spaceflight, because for example, we use microwaves for communication, and while they're pretty fantastic, they travel at the speed of light and are awesome and everything like that, something like a planet getting in the way is a bit too much for them to handle. In fact, to be honest, a wall getting in the way is a bit too much for them to handle, which is why most people lose their Wi-Fi signal through walls. So the idea is you'd put up a satellite, and it's kind of the exact same thing we do on Earth. The only difference is on Earth we can put up lots of geosynchronous satellites, so they can all see each other, but they can't. But obviously they can't see the opposite side of the planet. So you put up these geosynchronous satellites and they all talk to each other. And that's kind of how that works. And I don't know what I'm doing at the moment. I'm just fucking around by the looks of it. Yeah, I was on the map to see 6 hours. So that's all I've got to travel. But yeah, basically, the moon comes around, we actually miss the moon. We miss the moon, and then we capture the moon, because when we get there, the moon is sort of like just getting to where we came when we crossed over its path. And you'll see as we cross the threshold, like our orbit will change and it will look like we're going in that direction. It seems counterintuitive, but like it's kind of what's happening. See? It's exactly the same as what was being shown from far away, but it's just a slightly different way of representing it. Okay, so the burn maneuvers we did actually change the distance to 64k, so I'll have to bring that around a little bit. There we go. And I really want to be on the moon itself. Thank you. Makes it easier to do all these maneuvers. Okay, so let's at least get this down to 60 by 60. 62 by 64, that'll do. Because realistically, I just want to do that maneuver. Turn off my SAS would help. Yeah. Get that maneuver complete, and then we'll circularize the orbit and get rid of that thing. Then all the fuel that's in the command module and the lunar lander can be used, like, for actually what they're supposed to be used for. Go back up there. There. There we go. Should be dead on for what we want. This time I shouldn't get, like, fucked up by rambles. Raven, don't ramble about shit. We've got an hour, 6 minutes, and this is kind of where the game crashed last time. I think it was changing over to the moon, but I don't have it in my view this time. Or at least I don't think I do. Ooh, shit, I do. Huh. It's the best way to come into orbit around this, because you can actually see this. And I will say, I am not going to be landing on the moon to begin with. Because I'll probably take a couple of orbital passes. Okay. Gives me 16 minutes, so what I'm going to do... No, actually I'll use this. There's more than enough fuel to do this. Don't crash, don't crash. I'm looking at you, game. Don't crash. Turn the lights on. You can see down the rocket. It's so cool. And yeah, that was something. One of my rockets kind of ran out of electricity. It made it interesting, to say the least. 7 seconds. Oh, we'll see if that's an actual 7 seconds. axis in orbit, and 65 by 60, which I do want to bring that down. But before I do bring that down, there's a few things we need to do. So, let's see what I want to do is move some pointing down towards the moon. Hold that, which you won't hold it very well, but I'll hold it. Bam. Okay, that should now put that on a higher orbit pattern. Brings us down to 60 exactly by 65. Perfect source. Okay. Now, being as I'm these things, one problem I do have is my RCS is in the wrong place. Realistically, it should be kind of here, because that ends up being the center of mass for that. But yeah. Potato problems. Okay, so now going to do, which I do, I put an SAS unit on, but I forgot to put an advanced SAS unit, so I have no control. Everything, I have to do everything manually. I mean, it'll semi-zero out most of the movement, but it's not amazing at it. More allowing me to move without RCS, apart from obviously forward and backward. But at least I'm getting no torque from the legs this time, because last time, at this point, this was basically spinning out of control. And that's all because the physics is trying to do physics operations when it shouldn't. Okay. Ah, shit. Wrong button. Okay, so is that actually top heavy at the moment? Because the command module is most of the weight. So what I'm going to do is please stabilize. Gets to be a bit of a pain. Okay. Right, so without my RCS on, flip this round. On the RCS, and we want to go upwards. Upwards. Okay. We'll quickly shift over to this, which doesn't have its RCS on. Which appears to be going all out of whack with everything. The fuck? Hang on. Let's lower these legs. Which is not what I wanted to do. Oh my god. This is going to end badly. SAS! SAS to the rescue! Okay. Set that as target. Right. hopefully I can get this right. I'll get it back to the speed vector. Right. There we go. Perfect. Right, so now when I go back to this, which is now spinning out of control, I want to set as target. There we go. Ah, no. Little movements. Little movement, Raven. Okay. RCS on. And let's be moving towards it. There we go. Not very fast, but you know. I've got my leg wrapped around my headset. Kind of got to use 2 keys at a time, because otherwise it ends up screwing me up. Okay, I'm doing 4 meters a second. As long as my nose pleases it, I should be okay. Come on. Don't be gay. Right. Should eventually get over there. Idea is you want to just keep your forward momentum in line with the target. That's kind of it. Oh, and make sure, like, obviously they're pointing in the same direction. Oh my god, I suck at this. I said I put my RCS in the wrong damn place and now I'm paying for it. I'm sure it was a lot better though. I recall it being a hell of a lot better earlier. Or it might have been the fact that the Munar lander actually has the RCS in the right place, so it does work better. I suppose I could use the docking computer, but I don't, like, it doesn't actually have, like, it'd be nice if I could see the actual docking port, or, which I know there's a mod for. And my RCS isn't working, but it's just gonna. It was close enough. They increased the docking magnetism, so yay! It will eventually dock. There we go. Awesome sauce. I love this. But yeah, this, surprisingly enough, actually works better. So, the problem sort of stems from the direction you're doing things. Okay, so let's... Oh yeah, I was in the wrong... Yeah, that's why that shit wasn't working. I don't actually know the docking controls either. That's the other thing, like, it changes the controls. So W, A, S and D do different things, and I don't know what other things are, because I know that W and S end up being forward and backward instead of roll up and roll up down. And then D and A sort of like pan you from side to side, so it's like you're um, your vertical stuff. Wow, that debris got pretty freaking close to us. And that's our other debris. A lot of freaking debris around here that I am getting too close to. Okay, so get our wing out. I will point out now, I've got one of the new computers on here. This is the new lander can. This is all stock stuff, so this is all stuff that comes with the game. I've got no mods at the moment. And the lander can itself, somewhere, actually has a robotic control system, which I think is underneath all of that. Okay, so let's kind of like just let go. There we go. It's R. Turn your lights on, actually makes this much easier. I don't know where the damn door went. Oh, there it is. Dumbass. Ah, no, don't bash your head into it. Grab it. Thank you. We'll get inside the lander. Ah, what a fantastic day. 64k, I think. But I can't control it from there because I took him out. Damn it! I think I should be good for monopropellant. I don't really need all of it. And this has a hell of a lot more than that, to be honest. I'm actually sorely tempted to move back into this so I can deal with my orbit. Then again, I can deal with the orbit with this. Okay, let's deal with the orbit in this. First of all, I want to go down to 50 kilometers. So put that right in the edge and let's just reduce our speed. That brings us down to 38. In fact, I mean, I've been told that you can do this. You can orbit like quite low. But I don't like that. Okay, 40.9. I just kind of want to be it. I'm not sure where I want to be actually. It's going to be a long ass episode because I'm doing this all in one. Yeah, let's bring that down to 40. So that maneuver's 45 minutes away. Let's not fuck around with that. 45 minutes. I'll do my time warp. And 10 meters per second on this is RCS territory, really. There we go. Pretty much exact. I can speed this up. Which actually, speeding things up kind of is like having the SRS, the SAS. I'm still like 29 minutes away. I feel like I've done a full orbit already. Ten, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. How you doing there, Ardwing? Yeah, in the lander, scared out of your wits, wondering what the fudge is going on. That's pretty much how I feel most days. Okay. I'm not sure where it's going to take the RCS from now, actually. Should be interesting to find out. Don't really need all that much though. So we're leaving the command module on autopilot in space. after we've dealt with our orbit. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Only problem with the RCS, really, is... There we go. 1 meter per second will not make that much of a difference. Half a meter. Yeah, that's what I thought. So now we can add a maneuver on this side, that on the periapsis. I keep doing a speed up. Why do I keep doing a speed up? I mean, I don't really need to use these for this. Yeah, that's what we want. It'll be 12. Yeah. Check the monopropellant tanks. I think it's taking it from that one actually. Because they're on 30.7. I'll move all the monopropellant into that because this is what we'll be using when we come back up anyway, to dock with this. So this will be the thing that's in relative stationary orbit. So yeah, let's find our next maneuver node. Yeah, so it'd be around here somewhere. Speeding up time is awesome. I see something on the ground. 3, 2, 1. Okay, so this does take a little bit of time to achieve, but I think it'll be fine. Really all we're looking for is to see this come down. And we want to do this as close to the periapse as possible, because otherwise it's going to dramatically change what the periapse is. So it take even more tweaking. And I just want to bring this down to like an even 40. This means when I come back up from the moon, it's not as big of a deal. I think having this low in orbit though, kind of it faces the problem that I have to be going quite quickly to achieve it. Whereas the higher your orbit, the slower you can be. So my lunar module is going to have to slow down a lot more from being up here. Oh, and I wasn't paying attention. Two, 50, 49, 48, 47, 46, 3, 42, 41. Yeah. Probably actually a bit more perfect. Jittering around, but yeah. That'll work. Alright. Okay. Don't use your RCS. What you're trying to do, the overtest you fuckers. Right, let's just keep this. What is that? That's an upside down 45-degree line. Okay, so it's 90 degrees. So yeah, we'll keep this on 90 degrees. Should work well for us. I will go for a smoke, and then when I come back, there will be more Kerbal Space Program.